What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over a mindset bit. So, if you're selling a course, running coaching programs, or trying to build your personal brand, and it feels like you're doing everything right, but still not seeing the traction that you should be seeing, listen up because I'm not here to tell you to post more content or buy another organic growth system from somebody online because that's honestly not the problem, okay? The real reason you're not scaling has nothing to do with your trainings, your content, or even the algorithm, okay? It's actually the shit running in the back of your mind, okay? The beliefs that got planted in you when you first entered this game, okay? The ones that sit in the back of your mind running the show while you keep wondering why you're stuck in the same loop, okay? And if you don't dig those out, they'll keep driving your business straight into the same wall over and over again, okay? So let's dive right into it. Now, let's make one thing clear. Making money online, especially in the info space, isn't that hard anymore, okay? I want you to think about it. YouTube, School, Kajabi, all of these platforms did the hard part already. They built the systems for you to market your products, they find the audience that's interested in your content, and they have the overall infrastructure done for you. So, if all that already exists, why are so many creators and coaches still struggling month after month? Why are people telling themselves that, they just need more followers or they'll launch once everything's perfect? Because that's not a solid strategy. That's actually fear disguising itself as logic. Okay. Now, for years, you've been fed this quiet lie to, wait until you're ready or to grow your audience first to have a perfect product before you launch. And on the surface, it sounds smart, but it's honestly bullshit. Okay. That voice in your head telling you to wait, it's not protecting you. It's once again just fear pretending to be logic. And it came from people who are trying to sell you their safety net. People with big audiences tell you all of this because they're selling a course or a mentorship, building on keeping you dependent on their offer. Every belief you've accepted about what's realistic or how long things should take came from someone else's limits, not yours originally. And that's why you've got people saying that, you can't charge that much, or you can't scale without ads, or you even need a big following to make real money. And without even realizing, you kind of just accepted it. But look around, okay? Everything that exists right now, from the phone in your hand to this video that you're watching, started as somebody else's idea. And these people didn't wait for permission from someone else or needed any other validation, okay? Think about this. Jay-Z didn't wait for a record label to make music, and Elon Musk didn't wait for investors to create Tesla. They built their own thing on their own terms and conditions, and you're building a personal brand. You're in this info game, right? And that means your business is literally built on your beliefs. So if your beliefs are small, your income's going to stay small as well. But most creators don't really get that. They already know how to build a product for their offer. They already know how to post content. So if they're still stuck, it's not really a strategy problem, it's a belief problem, okay? For example, every time someone says, that's too expensive, which eventually causes you to lower your prices, you're not just adjusting your prices, you're also adjusting your self-worth tied to that offer. And every time a post flops and you take it personally, you're validating your own doubts. And that's not how you should do business based on structure. But here's what you forget. You've already proven that you can create results, okay? You've built the necessary skills to help people, and you've put in the reps to be good in your craft. So why keep letting that old version of you make decisions for your future? Okay. At some point, you got to stop listening to fear and start listening to your vision, because the market doesn't respond to the best offer. It responds to the most certain people in each niche, someone with authority and confidence in themselves and their product. Okay. You can have the absolute best course, the best testimonials, and the absolute perfect funnel and still lose to a guy as half as skilled simply because he has more conviction in what he's selling. And if you can't show up with that same raw conviction in your content, in your sales calls, and in your message, then it doesn't matter how optimized your funnel is. Right? Because people can smell hesitation a mile away. Now, let's talk about the mental warfare that comes with all this, because the online space will mess with your head pretty fast, right? When you're scrolling through Instagram, seeing all these gurus with 100K months, $1 million launches, a new car, the new penthouse, even if half of it's fake, it still hits you subconsciously because now you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight. But here's what nobody else says out loud. The guy flexing might be one refund away from panicking, right? The guy with the car might be renting it, and half of them are chasing a perception that their audience wants them to see. Meanwhile, you're actually building something sustainable. Now remember, you're just in your earlier timeline. They're not necessarily better than you. You're just in a different timeline than them because, they started earlier. So stop comparing yourselves to others and focus on making your brand and product better. Now, here's another trap that keeps creators stuck. It's something called hierarchy. This industry loves to make it feel like there's always another elite level, whether it be masterminds or inner circles. Now, don't get me wrong. Mentorships can be well worth the investment, especially with the right person. But the second you start thinking someone's above you, you've kind of already given them your power, right? Obviously learn from people, of course, but don't put them on this unachievable pedestal, because when you do, you start strictly making decisions from their playbook and not yours. And that's exactly why most creators plateau. They start copying strategy instead of leading with that conviction. So let me simplify this for you. The top 1% of creators didn't hack the algorithm. They actually just stopped believing everybody else's rules. They stopped waiting for permission from others. They stopped needing validation from others. And they built beliefs so unshakable that when someone tells them they can't, it basically fuels them to go even harder. So if you're in this game selling information, coaching, consulting, or whatever it is, you don't need to believe them. You don't even need to believe the old version of yourself. You just need to believe your vision, and that's it. Because every post, every offer, and every piece of content you put out is just a mirror about how much you believe in what you're doing. And that's why two people can sell the same product in the same niche with the exact same price, selling the exact same system, and one will do 5K a month and one will do 500K a month. Okay? It's not the offer, it's the belief. So here's what I want you to sit with. Stop adopting other people's limits and stop waiting for the right time. And stop letting your old identity drive your new opportunity. If you want to charge more, bring in more value to your audience and charge more. If you want to grow faster, act like the version of yourself who already achieved this growth. Because the second you start believing your own vision harder than you believe any other doubts, the game absolutely shifts. It stops being this heavy burden on you. You stop chasing opportunity and opportunity will start to chase you. So remember, nobody's above you. They're just on a different timeline than you. Okay, so let's recap. Lead with conviction, build your own ladder, and play your own goddamn game. But anyways, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want me to work with you personally on your offer, just check the link in the description and please book a call. Thanks.